Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. It is July, cannot believe it, and I'm here today starting my intro for Frayed by Laura Pavlov, which is the July Mending Hearts book club pick. It is my bestie Stasia's birthday this month on the 14th. Go buy her a book off her wish list, just saying. And she picked our book for this month, and this is what she picked. She absolutely loves Laura Pavlov, and I'm really excited to also read another book by the author this month. So here I am, hopefully on time this month, unlike last month with our book club pick. But I do plan to start this book tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm currently on life sprints, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to read simultaneously with Red Queen, and a friend said this one first, and so this is what I'm going with. I will be annotating this book most likely, since the traveling and moving and craziness of life is kind of over for a little bit. I think I'll have more time to devote to reading and to physically picking up a book and reading it on the page, and also tabbing and annotating in the process. So that's my current plan. This is a bad boy, innocent girl, small town, childhood, like they've known each other since childhood romance. He plays soccer, I believe. Her name is Adelaide, and his name is Jet. So we love a good small town romance, and here I very much slept on this trope for a long time, but after Stasia got me into it with one of the reading vlogs that we did a couple months ago, where we read each other's favorite books from last year, as well as our June book club pick, which was Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score, I'm very much vibing with the small town trope and am so excited to get to this one. As per usual, I'll update y'all every 25%. This book is 350-ish pages. The font isn't too small, I don't think. The book size is, it's not a big book, like dimensions, height and width wise, you know. So I think it'll be a quick read. I read the other book that I've read by Laura Pavlov super quickly. I did have the audiobook for that, so that's kind of different, but I do still think that this one will be a very fast read, and I cannot wait to get to it this weekend. So I'll give y'all a better synopsis once I get to 25%. I don't love reading and going into detail on the back of the book before I personally dive into it. Just whack myself with the corner of the book, but it's fine. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and just share a fuller synopsis for those of y'all who like those when I get to 25%, and hop back in here hopefully this weekend, but maybe in a couple of days or next week for my first update. So yeah, super excited to get to this one for Stasia's birthday month. I'm going to guess that she gives it 5 stars right now. I'm going to guess that it gets 4 or 5 stars from me. So fingers crossed that's the case. I look forward to talking about this one with our book club over the next couple of weeks, and hope that everybody else loves it as well. So I'll go ahead and chat with y'all whenever I get to 25%. Hello y'all, and happy Friday. I am here with my 25% update for Frayed. I binged the first 88 pages of this book in a couple of hours on Wednesday night, and really want to keep going with it this weekend. So I'm here to give y'all my update so I can keep going. First things first, I have been enjoying it more as I've gotten more into it. This book reads very differently from the other book that I've read by Laura Pavlov. For one, this book is about high school students. I don't think it's considered to be YA. I think it's probably more new adult, but it is not the age group that I was expecting for this book. I don't know why, but yeah, I was not expecting it to be high school students when I first started it. I'm not sure if that changes throughout the book, but as of right now, they're all very much in high school still. I also feel a little bit misled, and either that's my own fault or the back of the book's fault, but it sounded like these two had known each other for their entire lives. And while that is true, they've known each other since kindergarten, they don't really know each other that well. And I guess I kind of assumed that like they were childhood best friends, or like they had a history together from their childhood, but they don't really. There's not a ton going on there with their past that makes me feel like they have a super great connection right now. Our main character, Adelaide, does start off the book with another guy. She's been dating him for years now, and he's kind of terrible, but now things are progressing, and I think Jet, who is our male main character, is going to become a more prominent character. This does rotate between his POV and her POV, so we do get both sides of that, but right now they're both living in their own little worlds. Adelaide is super popular. She's up for salutatorian at her school. She's on the cheer team. She's dating this guy. She has a great group of friends. Jet is kind of more of a bad boy. He comes from a worse part of town. He plays football. That's his only chance to escape his current life situation, with him and his mom and grandmother in tow, and he's determined to make that happen. He does think that Adelaide is attractive, but I don't think that he currently thinks that anything is going to happen with that. But so far I am enjoying it, especially now that I am into it. It was a little bit of a struggle from the start. The writing is just very high school-y, like it feels like high school. It really does, which I guess makes sense since they are in high school. And there are a couple of grammar mistakes that I've noticed throughout it so far, like missing words and things like that. But I do know that Laura Pavlov writes great books. I've really enjoyed the other book that I read by her. I gave it 5 stars. So I do still have hopes for this one. I think it will end up being good. Definitely not my new favorite of Laura's, I would predict, even though I only have one other book to base that on. But I do think it has potential to continue to get better as I continue to get into it. So I'm hoping to get to 50% tonight. We'll see when I can do my update, but hopefully sometime over this weekend. It is only July 14th, so we're only halfway through the month, and I'm hoping to get this one done early because I have a couple of other books that I have to read for other book clubs and things like that. So yeah, that's my 25% update, and I'll hop back in here whenever I have another one. I sat out at the pool today, sorry that's kind of weird, for like 3 hours, and I read another book that I had to get done, or that I had to make progress in for a different book club, but I also got to 50% in FRAYED, and it is safe to say that I am very much obsessed. It's hard to explain why, because this isn't like the most profound romance I've ever read, but it's fast, it's fun, we're getting into the bones, we're getting down deep into things right now. This is very much a slow burn romance, which are sometimes hard for me, but right now I'm feeling pretty good about things, about where things are going after what happened in the last chapter that I read. But yes, so far so good still. Here's my tab update. I am tabbing a lot. I am underlining, marking some things throughout the book, not a ton yet, but I'm hoping that as I get farther into it, I will continue to find good quotes to mark and write on and around and things like that. But she finally broke up with her butthole of a boyfriend, and Jet, who is the bad boy, he's not really that bad. Like, he's not really a super bad boy, but I think he just tries to be one to like hide who he really is as a person. They're finally hanging out more, him and Adelaide, I think is her name, yes. And they're both catching feelings for each other. They just had their first kiss, finally, after almost 200 pages, but it's fine. And I'm really excited to watch their relationship develop. It is still kind of weird to me to read about them being in high school, just because like maybe it's just how I grew up, but like the things that go on in this book were not going on in my high school to the extreme that they're going on in this book, if that makes sense. I went to a super small school, so that's probably why. It's just, it's hard to imagine me thinking about yucky high school boys getting around in the way that some of them are, if that makes sense. It's weird for me to like think about people that I went to school with doing that, just because they're all like crusty and I can't imagine. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's just, if this was more like college, it would make sense and it would flow. I think we're a little bit too young right now, I don't know, for some of the things that are going on, but maybe that's just me. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if we jump forward into time at all, or if this will be a high school romance throughout the whole thing. Not sure. They are seniors, but it's just still kind of weird for me. However, that doesn't mean that I'm not enjoying the book, because I am, and I do want to keep going. I'm hoping to finish the book this week, especially because I've been reading huge chunks of it so quickly that I don't think I'll have any problem wrapping it up this week and getting it done a little bit early. I only have a couple of school things to do this week, which hopefully will be nice. And other than that, I have nothing going on any evening of the week until this weekend. So fingers crossed I can get this one done before then. But yeah, that's my 50% update. Can't wait to keep going. I've got less than 200 pages left, so it should be pretty quick getting there. I have been reading this one, as I said a little bit ago, very quickly, so I don't anticipate it taking me too long to read once I get focused every time I pick up the book, if that makes sense. So I'll hop back in here at 75% and we'll chat then in a couple of days, hopefully. Happy Saturday, y'all. It has been a while since I have done my last vlog update, probably like a week or so. I am also fighting a little bit of a cough, so if my voice sounds rough, I apologize. I'm also not quite yet ready for the day, so my hair is looking pretty rough. But last night I binged yet another 80% of this book, and I am still very much enjoying it. Definitely not my favorite romance, and we're getting onto the we're getting into very much a slow burn, to the point where it's almost ridiculous how slow burn it is, and I'm almost starting to feel frustrated over it. Like, I know y'all have feelings for each other, just do something about it, please. But hopefully we get at least one scene between them before we get to the end of the book. A lot has happened. Adelaide's mother is terrible, but it looks like maybe she is going to try to reconcile everything that has happened with her daughter and Jet at some point in the near future, so I'm hoping we get to see that soon. I would love to come out of this book not hating any characters, but we'll see if that ends up being the case. I do have a pool party to go to this afternoon, but I'm hoping that once I get home this evening, I will be able to finish this one up super fast. I only have 80 pages left. I don't have a ton of homework that I wanted to get done tonight specifically, so I might prioritize this and then try to do a little bit of homework afterward if I feel like doing so. I also want to try and film a clip of me reading this book, because I don't have any fun clips with music yet for this video, and I definitely want to change that. I want to make this vlog a little bit fun, so I'm gonna try to film one of those tonight as well as I'm finishing up the book. This definitely is not a favorite read of mine. I anticipate giving it 3.5 or 4 stars depending on what happens in the end. I don't see a third act breakup in sight currently, but that doesn't mean that there isn't going to be one, and we'll see if it's necessary or not, because I personally am not a huge fan of third act breakups, and they often end up being more frustrating than not. Also, this book very much feels, I don't know, there's definitely it's awkward moments. It is very high schoolery, which is not something that I read super often anymore. It's not bad by any means. I'm enjoying it a lot, but I could just tell that it's not something that I would normally gravitate towards. Some of the drama is a little bit annoying because they're high schoolers. I get it, I lived through that. I remember very vividly, but some of it's just kind of annoying to read about. So I'm hoping to finish it up tonight. If I do, we'll be doing pretty good on our schedule this month. It's only the 22nd of July, so feeling pretty good about that at least. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Not my favorite. I still have enjoyed my other Lord Pavlov book more, but after reading that one as well as this one, I do want to start reading some of her other books as well. So I'll catch y'all hopefully tomorrow at some point with my final update, and hopefully I finish the book, end up enjoying it as I am right now, and we'll see what my final reading is going to be. final consensus, sorry, I'm still sick and my throat hurts, but it's fine. My final consensus for Frayed is 3.5 stars. I finished the book last night, and while I thoroughly enjoyed it, it was also extremely frustrating, and the chemistry between Jet and Adelaide during certain scenes was just so like bland. And while I can get how much they loved each other, yada yada yada, I just wasn't feeling that all the time, if that makes sense, in the way that the characters were written. So that, paired with some of the petty high school drama, made me, like, I still enjoyed it, but in the end I'm giving it 3.5 stars, which is still pretty good. This is definitely one of her oldest books, if not her debut novel, and I can definitely see why she is so popular, because her books, at least the one that I have read that is way newer, they've just gotten so amazing. Not that this one isn't good, but I can definitely see growth and development in her storytelling as she has continued to write. Because the other book that I read by her, 5 stars, easy, great, I loved it, I cried a little bit, and it was so freaking good. This one, still fun, still enjoyable. Not a huge fan of the high school setting and romances of this nature, but it is what it is. I still liked it. Give it 3.5 stars. I'm glad that Stasia picked this book for July, because a lot of people seem to want to read more of Laura Pavlov in our book club now that they've read this one. Even if they didn't absolutely fall in love with it, they still want to continue diving into this author's books, which I love to see. I think it's so fun supporting these indie authors, and I definitely want more people to start reading Laura Pavlov, because again, I did so enjoy the other book that I've read by her and do want to read more. This one just is not my new favorite from her, which is totally fine. Content warnings for this book do include emotional abuse and some domestic violence, cheating, rape in the past that is mentioned, some light sexual content. I think that is all of them, but just in case I missed any, I will have a full list in the description down below as per usual. But yeah, that's a wrap on Frayed. Glad I was able to get this one done last night. The tabs do look great. I'm glad that I annotated this one because it was a lot of fun. As per usual, let me go ahead and share our next month's pick with y'all. And that is going to be Disgrace by Brittany Cherry. I have heard this book is absolutely amazing. I have high hopes for it. I'm hoping I cry a little bit. Could really use a good cry, but we'll see what ends up happening. So keep an eye out for my vlog regarding this book. I plan to start it early in August as soon as my summer class ends and I have a few weeks off to just focus on reading and work before a fall semester comes back in full swing. But yeah, this is our August pick. Can't wait to get to it, as well as our September pick, and we'll also be announcing our third quarter picks at the very end of next month in August or the very beginning of September. So keep an eye out for that video as well. I hope y'all enjoyed the rest of 2023's picks. I know Stasia and I are so excited for them, and Stasia and I also can't wait to dive into a new year, 2024, with this book club going strong. So keep an eye out for news about our next quarter's picks. Keep an eye out for my vlog of reading Disgrace. And yeah, if you want to join us in our book club with our August pick, feel free to do so. I have the Discord and Instagram linked in the description down below as per usual. It's such a blast talking to everybody in our Discord, and I would love to see you there. So that's all that I have for today's vlog. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.